when I got called, that was when like a bunch of sisters were going. So there was so many like cute clothes and cute shoes that you want to wear. And when you get there, you don't even care if it's cute. You know, you want the most comfortable shoes that you can walk in. Who cares if they're cute? And skirts because I was in a lot of biking areas. And so if it's too flowy, it flies over your face and then everyone gets a good laugh. Or if it's too tight, you can't get over your bike. And so something that's like long enough that you can sit and not, I know it's kind of hard, but something that you can ride a bike in, maybe even practice at home in that skirt, because you hate to get there after traveling so far and having an outfit that you can't even wear. Because clothes over there are expensive and shoes are expensive. And if you're wearing makeup is really expensive. I even had my parents send me makeup because I was like, I'm not spending $25 for mascara. Like, so think about that. And your bag that you're going to take with all of your scriptures and planner and everything in it. Mine was leather, and so when it would get wet, it would be like useless for a couple days until it dried out. And so maybe a bag that's waterproof, I would advise. And taking some scarves and just a light jacket or a beanie. And there were some inappropriate men in Kalgoorlie that if they see you on your bike, they'll do their calls and just yell at you. And so like just be as humble as you can and just conservative, I would say, in what you're wearing and how you're acting. Well, you asked about bugs, what not to touch. One time in my first day, I was going into bed and I pulled back the sheet and there was a cockroach on my pillow and I was like, no. So I had to have my companion come and take care of it because she was used to cockroaches around because she's from Australia. And so don't mind the cockroaches, they won't hurt you. There was this one family that had a big huntsman spider on their wall. And so I know those are dangerous and they're huge. So if you see spiders, don't touch them. There's lots of snakes. In some areas, there's lots of flies, like everywhere. So if you're riding your bike, they're just all over. It's only in the summertime. So summertime is flies. And then there's magpies, which are birds. So if you're riding a bike, like have like a piece of paper or a stick or something to swat them away because they will really come down and hit your head. And they're so scary. So be aware of magpies. They swoop down and hit you. So those are the animals. Kangaroos can sometimes be mean. If you get too close, they'll kick you. So don't try to feed them. Any other? I guess just really comfortable shoes. That's something I wish I had. I went through so many pairs of shoes because they'd get so worn out because you're walking. I was walking a lot. Or just on your bike and they get like rubbed at the toe. And so just I wish I would have spent a little bit more money on shoes to get a nice pair instead of just a cute, cheap pair. There's some really hard times on a mission that you either want to be done or just sleep or just cry. And I don't know what it's like for an elder, but it's really hard to serve a mission as a sister. It was really hard emotionally for me. So one thing that helped was I wrote in my journal every night just to get all your emotions out. If you're struggling with your companion or with a member or with an investigator, just write it all down because that way it's not all built up inside of you. And write your family on P-Day and take pictures of your family because everyone wants to see. And so it's good to find things that make you happy. If say an investigator drops you and it's so sad because they were doing so well. So always have something to make you happy. Read your scriptures and take notes and be open and willing to talk with your companion because even if you don't get along with them, you're with them for at least 6 weeks. And so be open with your mission president and your companion, and know that one day you'll miss it.
I think a lot of people would probably say bring like bug spray, because the bugs in Australia are so scary and big, but they're not that bad. You're fine. It's all good. I would say like Australia, even though it looks like it's a big fat desert, it gets cold there. Like it gets really cold there. And it doesn't snow, like except for on the mountains, but definitely bring a coat, bring a raincoat and rain boots, because it rains a lot, in Melbourne at least. Unless you're going to the Gold Coast, where it's sunny and beautiful all the time, bring a raincoat, and make sure you bring sweaters to stay warm in the winter, because it does get cold. But also bring good shoes to hike in, because there's awesome places to go hiking. Yeah, that's what I would say. I think it's kind of in general, like not even particular to Australia, but obviously avoiding like being alone with any person of the opposite sex, like being within eyesight of other people at least, but particularly girls, like being within eyesight of different people. And I don't know, like one time we were talking to these younger boys. They were probably like 20 years old, 20, 21, and it was really good. It was really good conversation and everything, and it was fine, but they started kind of like flirting with us, which, you know, like, granted, they're boys and we're girls. It's fine. But avoid those situations at all costs. If you see that it might be getting to that point, then just like, maybe leave. Because usually, yeah, if they start doing that, they're not interested in what you want to teach anyway. And so that's one situation that I encountered. He actually prayed to Heavenly Father that I would kiss him. So that was interesting. Heavenly Father, please bless the Sister Hatchell kiss me. And I said, I just opened my eyes to my hands like, maybe we should go. Well, that was weird. But yeah, just avoid those situations. Clothing, I don't know. Don't overthink clothing, because you're going to throw it all away anyway. I threw everything away. I didn't come home. My mom was so mad at me because we spent money on clothes and I came home with like one dress. Just don't stress too much about clothes. Get simple things that you can match up with a lot of different outfits, and it makes it way easier. And then you can just throw it all away when you get bored of it.
Advice to the sisters is, packing wise, pack lots of light shirts that won't take up much space in your suitcase, but you could pair them up with anything and everything with your skirts, but you can also throw it over your dresses. Pack lots of dresses, and that you can either tuck into your skirts or, just throw over a sweater. And I would say for your wardrobe, to just be you. I went with lots of bright clothes and floral prints and things like that, but it was me, and it reflected who I was. But also, it's kind of cool because you'll see a lot of sister companionships that they show each other's personalities in both of their outfits. And it's not such a big deal so much since you are going out and you're teaching and things like that. But it is important to be presentable and to appear as a servant of the Lord. And so to be conservative, yet still reflecting who you are and who you would like to be, I guess, in the future as well. For emotional well-being, my biggest advice is to love your companion. And if you can, I guess, just see past their flaws and to focus on who they are is the most important thing, and that's how you'll create a happy companionship, and that's how you'll succeed as a companionship. For like most of my companionships, I had been very happy. There was only a few times where I had felt saddened, but it wasn't because of my companion. It was my companion who I trusted and felt was very close to me because we were both there to love each other, and we knew we trusted each other in that way that we could talk it out or talk about what was bothering us, whether it was home or things out on the mission. But something I always did with my companions, the very first time I met them, we would kind of establish expectations and get to know each other a little bit. But I would ask them this question, and it's a really good tool to use. But it was a question that I asked was, what do you need to feel loved? And so there is 5 love languages, and it's touch, words of affirmation, quality time, service, and gifts. And so I would ask them, what do you need to feel loved? And I would ask them one of these 5 things. If they need to receive like gifts, like cards, or if I was buying myself chocolate, I would buy them too. Chocolate as well. Or words of affirmation where I could tell them how great they were and what they had done for me that day so that they continue to feel appreciated. Or if it was touch, I would give them a hug, or I would give them a hug, or I would link arms with them and kind of walk with them down the streets and make sure that they just know that I'm thinking about them and that I love them and that they're not alone in this. And in return, I would also ask them if they could do what I needed to be loved. And oftentimes what I needed to be loved was just quality time, to spend time with me. And that's not a very hard thing to do since you're supposed to be with each other 24/7. But to make it quality time rather than that quantity time, to make good use of the time that you had together, because you never knew how long it was going to be. And so that was something that we used together as companionships, just to make it a happy dynamic, a happy mission in general.